Shalom, shalom. Hey, I got the $1,000,000 question, right? For those that claim the mark of the beast is a microchip, right? With everything going on in the earth, who's going to implement the mark of the beast? What nation is going to implement the mark of the beast? Because if you say it's all white people, you got to be specific, because obviously Russia is not doing what America is doing. China is not doing what America is doing. Iran is definitely not doing what America is doing. What nations or what white nation is going to implement the mark of the beast? Because if you say it's America, then obviously it ain't going to be the whole world. So this is where the doctrine kind of falls very short. It takes a deep dive very short. If the mark of the beast is going to be a worldwide thing and you can't eat, right, and drink and buy and sell, right, all of this stuff with a physical chip, the $1,000,000 question is, who's going to implement it? And I'm going to leave y'all with that, right? Because obviously the nations ain't getting along. And whatever NATO's doing, BRICS ain't with it. And whatever BRICS is doing, NATO ain't with it. So who's going to implement it? This is why I don't subscribe, and neither do the servants subscribe to the mark of the beast being a microchip.
Yeah, well, shy.
Okay. All right. So, 1 second. All right. So I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. Shalom to the 144,000. It's the brother Amawan Padah, the GMS Denver camp, coming at you with a quick lesson. All right, it's not going to be too long, but it's in response to what you just saw there in that video. All right, a supposed leader in Israel goes by the name of Chief Ephraim. All right, and pretty much he's questioning the doctrine of the mark of the beast being the RFID microchip. And his question was, his $1,000,000 question was, well, since the nations are not getting along, then who's going to make the mark of the beast mandatory? So pretty much he's trying to get away from the fact that the mark of the beast is an RFID microchip, because he doesn't see how it's going to be implemented. Let's go ahead and break that down, all right? All right, so, but let's get a quick precept. Hold on. All right, here we have the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? And the answer is no, man. All right. You don't have to believe that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. All right. You don't got to believe anything if you don't want to. All right. But as the true servants of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, we're here to tell you that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. And they're going to make it mandatory for buying and selling, as prophesied in Revelation 13, verse 16 through 18. All right. I mean, we've done countless videos, you know, starting with the elder apostles of GMS on down, showing you that Esau intends on making this a cashless society, not just in America, but abroad. Because guess what? Esau is in every nation, man. It says the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. Just because there's different nations warring with each other does not mean that Esau is not behind the scenes orchestrating his plans to bring forth the RFID microchip. He has his hands in all the leaders of the nations, man. All right. A lot of these leaders that you see in these other nations, all right, are being manipulated by Esau in some shape, form, or fashion. You know, matter of fact, let me see. Let me get a precept in Revelation 13 real quick. So, like, actually, let me get Job 9:24 since I quoted it. Then we'll jump to Revelation 13. All right, here we have it, Job 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and the wicked is none other than Esau, Edom. All right, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? This man is a damn devil, and the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. The Lord has set up the basest of men. All right, as it tells you in Daniel 4 and verse 17. All right, to rule the earth in wickedness. He has his hands in the backs of these leaders. All right, and he's manipulating these other leaders, though they might, disagree on other things. All right, this whole New World Order situation that's getting ready to take place is prophecy, man. And who's going to be heading that New World Order other than Esau, Edom, the so-called white man? All right, but all Edomites are not so-called white. You got to understand that as well. Okay, you got, a lot of these leaders that look like heathen that are actually Edomites, man. That's a factor as well you have to understand. All right, this thing is deep, okay? But the point is that Esau is going to bring forth the RFID microchip, man. He's going to persuade these other nations to come forth, with this technology. You see? Matter of fact, let's get a precept in Revelation 13. So here we have Revelation chapter 13. And this is the chapter that pretty much tells you about the mark of the beast and how you won't be able to buy and sell without it, right? Well, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Now, what is this beast talking about, man? It's talking about NATO and the EU, the beast system. All right, NATO and the EU, all these countries are joining to Esau. They form the beast. Okay. And then you also have, he mentioned the BRICS nations that are going against NATO and the EU. All right. They're outside of that beast. Russia is not part of the beast, by the way, because you got some people thinking that Russia is a part of the beast. Nah, though those are Edomites over there in Russia, they're not a part of the beast system. But what does it say here? And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. What is a dragon? The dragon is the Roman Empire, man. All right, because Esau, these Edomites in these last days have modeled, especially here in America, they've modeled, their power structure after the ancient Roman Empire. All right, go look at Washington, D.C. All those ancient, pillars and structures, those buildings are reminiscent of what? Ancient Rome. Okay, verse 3 it says, And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast. You see that? And that deadly wound that was healed is talking about the ancient Roman Empire. The ancient Roman Empire fell, right? But guess what? It's been revived in these last days. Look at America, man. The whole Senate, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, that all comes from ancient Rome, among many other things. You see, they were great militarily, just like America, Babylon the Great is today. NATO and the EU, they're modeled after ancient Rome, who are also Edomites. But it says the whole world wandered after the beast. It says all the world wandered after the beast. These different nations, all right, are moving to the tune of Esau. Though they disagree on other things, they pattern themselves after the ways of Esau, Edom. Okay? Especially when it comes to, the whole buying and selling situation. Okay, now it says, And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him? These nations, all right, they submit to Esau, man. All right, because just like the Roman Empire, they were great militarily. That's why they say, who is able to make war with the beast? All right, though you see these nations bucking up in these last days, still understand that Esau, when it comes to military might, You know what I'm saying? These devils, they got it on lock, man. Their blessing is the sword, man. All right. But the point is that these nations are wandering after the beast, and they're going to eventually implement the RFID microchip in their own countries. This is the new thing that's going to be put in the earth to buy and sell. All right. Esau, he's came up with all different type of problems, with security on people's accounts or whatnot, bank accounts being hacked, things like that. Because Esau creates the problem, then he brings a solution. All right. So, yeah, man. I mean, you don't have to believe, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to believe. I mean, there's no coincidence that everything everywhere right now is going towards a digital infrastructure, even overseas, man, even in all these other countries. They're doing away with their cash and they're investing in digital assets, man. Why? Because it's all leading to one point. The mark of the beast being made mandatory to buy and sell, which is going to be the RFID microchip, man. They're already in your credit cards. People that got credit cards in different countries use a microchip in the card. All they're going to do is try to put it in your flesh. That's the next step. They've been doing it through gradualism. All right. So there you go. You got to understand also that the U.S., the United States, man, they're like a cash cow for the rest of these nations. You see, they make their money off of the United States because this is a consumer nation. So they're going to play ball so they can keep making that money. And if the United States, implements the RFID microchip as the new way of payment, guess what? They all going to be on board, man. They're going to wander after the beast. But hey, man, it is what it is, man. Don't be deceived by these false prophets, man. They're getting ready to do this thing very soon. It could take a false flag event or some crazy real event to take place in which all these nations are gonna go toward this technology. All right, it can be brought forth through a major black swan event in which people are gonna want to have a more secure way of identification. All right, and that's what the RFID microchip is gonna pretty much provide, man. But anyway, that's the point of this lesson. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to make this too long. You got a lot of false prophets out here, raising their heads in these last days. But the elect will not be deceived. Okay. And if the mark of the beast is not the RFID microchip, then what is it? Chief Ephraim. All right, so I'm going to end this lesson right here. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem Shai, the Kwame Yasharala, and the Bible Ball Shalom.